About a month ago, I told you the story of a missing young girl, Summer Wells. She was only 5 years old when she vanished in 2021, disappearing from her home without a trace, never to be seen again. But today, we're going back in time, 12 years before Summer's disappearance, to another haunting mystery from the very same family. This time, it was Summer's maternal aunt, her mother's sister, her grandmother's daughter. Two disappearances, one family. This is the story of a beloved young mother, a woman who just wanted a night out, a short break from the weight of everyday life. But she never made it there, and she never made it home. This is the unsolved mystery of 21-year-old Rosemarie Bly.
Bring them
It was Friday, August 21st, 2009, when 21-year-old Rosemarie Bly walked out of her home in Sterling Township, Polk County, Wisconsin, for what was supposed to be a quick night out. She told her husband, Christopher, that she planned to meet up with her cousin in Cushing, a small town just a few miles away. It's been speculated that the two planned to meet at a local bar, a casual gathering to unwind, maybe laugh a little, before heading home. Rose left their home around 7:30 p.m., driving her white 2001 Pontiac Grand Am. She promised she'd be home by midnight. When midnight came and went, Christopher didn't think much of it. He assumed Rose was just out a little later than planned, and eventually fell asleep waiting for her. But when he woke the next morning and her side of the bed was still empty, reality began to sink in. He started calling friends and family, hoping someone had seen her. No one had. By that afternoon, August 22nd, 2009, he reported his wife missing. Rose was a young mother of two little girls, both under the age of 2. And like so many young couples, she and Christopher were struggling. They were newly married, money was tight, and life was heavy. But their troubles went deeper than bills or sleepless nights. Friends and relatives would later describe a relationship that was volatile, sometimes even violent. Some claimed Christopher had been abusive, others said it was Rose who had lashed out. The truth? No one really knows what was happening behind closed doors. What is known is that in the summer of 2009, just weeks before she vanished, Rose was arrested and charged with domestic violence and disorderly conduct. She pled not guilty. Christopher had actually filed for divorce earlier that year, but later withdrew the petition. By August, the two were still together, supposedly trying to make things work. When investigators began their search, they started with the most obvious lead, the bar in Cushing, where Rose had supposedly been heading that night. But when they spoke to her cousin, they hit a wall. The cousin told police that no plans had ever been made. Rose was never expected that night. That revelation flipped everything on its head. Had Rose lied to her husband about where she was going, or was it Christopher who was lying? Detectives began questioning everyone who knew her, but no one had seen or heard from Rose since the night she left home. Then, 5 days later, on August 26th, a chilling discovery was made. Rose's white Pontiac Grand Am was found abandoned in a parking lot near a post office in Grantsburg, Wisconsin, about 25 miles from her home and 15 miles from Cushing. The lot was often used by truck drivers to park overnight. The car was undamaged. No signs of a struggle, but the keys were gone. And so was Rose. The location puzzled investigators. Rose grew up in Grantsburg. Her mother still lived there. It was familiar territory, not some random stretch of road. But why would her car end up there if she'd only planned to drive a few miles to Cushing? And why did no one, not friends, not family, report seeing her in the area that night? To make things more confusing, later reports suggested something entirely different, that Rose may have been planning to attend a birthday party near her home that evening, just 2 miles away, not in Cushing at all. So, where was she really going that night? Who was she really meeting? Every answer seemed to raise more questions. Those who knew Rose said she would never abandon her children, not willingly. She was described as a loving mother who adored her little girls. Whatever struggles she and Christopher had, Rose's world revolved around her kids. So, when her car was found 25 miles from home, without a trace of her, people began to fear the worst. Investigators looked into her phone records, hoping to piece together her movements that night, but whatever secrets those calls might have held, they weren't enough. No arrests were made. No one was charged, and over time, the case, like Rose, began to fade from the public eye. More than a decade has passed since Rose Marie Bly vanished. No one knows where she went, who she met that night, or why her car ended up miles away from where she was supposed to be. All we're left with are fragments, a drive into the night, a promise to return, and a mystery that continues to haunt everyone who loved her. Rose stood just 5 feet tall, weighing around 110 pounds. A petite, light brown haired woman with warm brown eyes and a soft, youthful face. On the outside of her right ankle, she had a small tattoo, a pair of red cherries, a detail that now feels hauntingly significant. Her ears and navel were pierced, and she was known to frequently change her look, often switching up her hair length or color. At the time of her disappearance, her hair was cut into a chin length bob, though friends say she sometimes dyed it blonde or red. The night she vanished, Rose was wearing a white tank top, a green v-neck sweater, blue jeans, and flip-flop sandals. Simple, casual clothes for what was supposed to be an ordinary evening out. She was driving her white 2001 Pontiac Grand Am, bearing Wisconsin license plate 535 MAB, a car that was later found, but Rose was not. If you have any information about the disappearance of Rose Marie Bly, please contact the Polk County Sheriffs. Thank you for watching my coverage of this case. If you have any information, please contact the detectives assigned. If you enjoyed my coverage, please subscribe. Thank you for your time, stay safe, and look out for one another. Bye.